Hello everyone, and welcome to my YNR official 24 channel. Jack goes home, puts his coat on the sofa. Then Diane comes over with some wine. Jack wants to talk to Diane about what she wants. First he tells her that he found a way to get proof that Victor is using the artificial intelligence thing. He tells Diane what happened with Lily and Kane. Jack says Lily put Kane in his place. Jack gives Kane a chance to do something for himself. He says Kane can get paid if he helps Jack get evidence against Victor. Jack really wants to get Victor. Earlier Jack caught Matt. Then, he made an offer to Victor. Billy heard about Phyllis and her new plan. People are talking about all of Kane's regrets and his big ego. Kane needs to prove himself to the world because of the hit he has taken. Then Kyle walks in, announces in a smug way that they now have the ultimate bargaining chip. Kyle explains that he had the security team watch what was happening at the ranch. It turns out that a man from Sharon and Nick's past is back and is harassing Sharon and Nick. Kyle tells them that they caught Matt after Matt escaped from the crash. Kane is still trying to deal with his ego and all of his regrets. Jack is really surprised to see Matt, who says he is actually Mitch. Jack away calls Victor to tell him that he has found Matt and thinks they should work out some kind of deal. At Crimson Lights, Holden runs into Audra after she loses a glove. Audra thinks that Claire has not told the police about them yet. Holden tells her that he has not told Claire everything at Not Yet. Audra reminds Holden that if she gets in trouble he will too. Holden is getting tired of keeping secrets. Audra asks him if he is also feeling like he needs something different, like a breath of fresh air. Audra thinks that the man who saved her life has totally forgotten about her now. She can see that he is feeling bad about what he did for her. Audra says that he was the nice person she met in Los Angeles. Now he is not being nice to her at all. He reminds Audra of the time they met in Genoa City. How mean she was to him. Audra tells him that she was trying to forget about what happened in Los Angeles, and now she feels bad about that. Audra asks him, "Why did our friendship turn into this?" She is talking about her friendship with the man who saved her life. She does not want to talk about anything because it means she has to think about what happened. He can see why she has been trying to keep him from her. He was too upset to think about why she was doing that. She does not get why he is trying hard to get on Claire's good side. Holden says that she was easier to like when she was Audra Cortez. Now she has built a wall around herself. That is really tiring to deal with. They remember this one time when he had to calm her down after they got rid of the body. He told her to go to a bar and spend time with people who have had too much to drink, so they will not really know what time it is. Audra said to him that they might not be friends anymore. They will always be connected to each other. They had a fight about how she is to Claire. He said he would not say anything if she would just leave Claire alone. They made fun of each other for giving in.
Audra pushed his chest.
The thing about Audra and him is that they will always be in each other's lives, no matter what happens with Claire. Audra and he just cannot seem to stay from each other. Billy gets home. Sally has some food ready for him. She wants to show him that she is thankful. Billy thinks that Sally is trying to make herself believe that everything is okay. He thinks she is waiting for him to mess up again. Sally says that what they have can go away at any time. Billy tells her that he heard her talking to Victoria about what might happen if he fails. Billy says that he is worried about this too, and that Sally does not have to be gentle with him. Billy thinks that he should have to show Sally that he is responsible. Billy should have to prove to Sally that he can do this. He is determined to give back to Sally all that Sally has given to him. This is what Sally deserves. Sally tells him that he is a smart person. He reminds Sally that he used to have a podcast, so he knows a lot of things. He is a deep person. Sally remembers that they ended up together because they were both betrayed by people. Sally is scared of what could happen in the future, and Sally cannot stand the thought of not being with him. He assures Sally that he can handle all the pressure that Sally puts on him. Sally says that his commitment to her and his honesty are very attractive to Sally. They kiss, and then they go to the bedroom to be together. When he thinks Sally is asleep, he gets up, goes to the other room to think about things. Sally wakes up and comes into the room where he's, so they start talking. They talk about his brother. What is going on at Jabot? He wants to keep his brother and sister safe. Sally reminds him about the story they can write about Newman and the computer program.
He tells her not now.
Sally says they can go out dancing or they can go back to their room. Phyllis finds Kane at the GCAC bar. She wants him to stop being Kane and be Dumas instead. Kane tells Phyllis to leave him alone. Phyllis does not want to leave him. She thinks he is treating her badly. Phyllis believes she is a person, and that is why she will not leave Kane. Phyllis thinks Kane can have a lot of fun if he becomes Dumas. As Dumas, Kane will not miss any woman. Dumas will be a person. Kane says his company is finished, and so is he. She asks him if he has thought about getting the AI and hurting Newman. He says no. She can tell by looking at his eyes that he is not telling the truth. Kane says he is not interested in doing that. While he is eating, she tells him that she is not going to leave him alone just because he is being quiet and weird. She says that he does not really know what he wants. She is going to stay with him and help him even if he does not want her to. She is not going to pay attention to the signs that he wants her to leave him alone. Kane and the AI are still on her mind. She really wants to help Kane with the AI and Newman. He says to her that he and Lily kissed and they almost made up. Then Lily left town. Phyllis says to him that Lily does not want him. Lily thinks she is better than everyone and he should not play along with her. Phyllis is really upset. Says that Lily has never done anything nice for him. She thinks that most people are not very good and Lily is one of them. Phyllis tells him that they can do something together like take over the world and she is waiting for him to say yes to it. She really wants him to join her and do something with Lily out of the picture with the Lily thing behind them, and she wants to do it with him, not with Lily. She tells him that the way he looks at Lily is not real. It is like a dream. She says she feels the way about Nick. She thinks they should not waste their time thinking about this. She wants him to do things with her instead. Then he gets a message from Maddie. She says he should not talk to her or Charlie. Kane talks to Phyllis about Jack. He says Jack wants to work with him to beat Victor. Phyllis asks him why he wants to work with Jack when he can work with her. Then Billy shows up, sees them talking together. He tells Sally he needs to inform Phyllis the deal is off. Billy eavesdrops as Phyllis tells Kane she only wants to help him get payback on Victor. Sienna was the woman that Matt thought was his enemy. She was the one who people thought was responsible for all the things that happened to Matt. Victor even told people to keep an eye on her and get rid of her if they had to. It turns out that Sienna was actually the one who saved Matt's life. She kept his secrets safe. Made it look like she hated him just so he would not get hurt. Sienna did all of this to protect Matt and keep him alive. It all starts on a bad night with a lot of rain. The rain is hitting the windows of the Newman Ranch hard. It sounds like someone is trying to warn them. Victor is standing by himself in his study. He has a glass of whiskey in his hand. He has not touched it. He is thinking about things that have happened recently. There are a lot of things that do not make sense to Victor. For example, Matt got. He should be dead, but he is not. Some of Victor's enemies were about to hurt him. Then they stopped. Victor had some evidence that would help him. Now it is gone. The Newman Ranch and all these things are connected to Sienna somehow. Her name keeps coming up. It is like she is watching everything that is going on. Victor is a man who has beaten people stronger than Sienna. He has a bad feeling that something is not right. It is like the pieces on a chessboard are moving on their own. He did not tell them to. For a man like Victor Newman, that is very hard to accept. He likes to be in control of things. The fact that things are happening without his permission is really bothering him. Victor Newman is not used to this. It is making him very uncomfortable. Matt's life is full of secrets. The investigation is like a puzzle with lots of false clues. It takes him to the Genoa City Athletic Club, where people are talking quietly. He finds out some things from phone records that are hard to read. These records show that Sienna and Matt were talking to each other for a time, even when Matt was in a lot of trouble. He had enemies, including Victor. Matt was very vulnerable then. The investigation of Matt and his secrets is very complicated. Matt is the key to solving this mystery. When you look back, you see that things did not happen the way people in Genoa City thought they did. Sienna found Matt after someone attacked him and left him bleeding and unconscious. She decided to help him of just leaving him there. She knew that if she helped him, her life would be connected to his from on. So Sienna did a lot of things to keep Matt safe. She found him safe places to stay. She paid doctors to keep quiet. She even made reports that said Matt was dead. She told Victor and other people things that were not true. At the time, she was acting like she hated Matt. She started lawsuits against him, tried to make people think bad things about him. She even set up fights with him to make everyone think she was really against him. Sometimes Matt even thought she was against him. Sienna was doing all of this to protect Matt, even though it seemed like she was trying to hurt him. The emotional toll of living this life is really huge for Sienna. The story looks at Sienna's struggle. It shows the moments when Sienna is alone and her mask slips. That is when fear and guilt and love all come together. Sienna knows that if Victor Newman ever finds out the truth, her own life will be over. It is not just Sienna's life that will be in danger. Matt's chance of surviving will also be destroyed if Victor Newman learns the truth about Sienna's life. Matt is really struggling because he thinks Sienna did something to him. He is carrying a weight on his shoulders. This is making him do some crazy things. He is putting himself in harm's way, teaming up with people he should not trust. Matt is also really hurting inside. The person who helped him the most is someone who cannot be there for him in the way he needs. This person cannot give him a hug, say everything will be okay, without putting themselves in danger. Matt is all alone because the one person who saved him is not able to show him that they care without risking everything. Victor figures things out in a way. He looks really closely at money transactions that helped Matt's company stay in business. These transactions seem weird. Victor wants to know more. He checks them against accounts in countries that are connected to Sienna. Victor also listens to a recording that people thought was not important. In this recording, Sienna's voice shakes a little when she says Matt's name. Victor realizes that everything Sienna did to hurt Matt actually made him stronger. He thinks about this for a while, and it all starts to make sense. Victor's discovery of Matt and Sienna's connection is a deal. Matt and Sienna are the key to understanding what is going on. When the truth becomes really clear, it affects Victor in a way. He cannot ignore it. The truth is that Sienna did not fail to destroy Matt because she was not good enough or because she was being careful. She failed because she never really wanted to succeed. What happens next is very intense. Victor asks Sienna to come to the ranch. He does not tell her the real reason. He talks to her in a voice, but it is clear that he is very angry. He shows her all the evidence, one thing at a time. Does not accept her excuses. He keeps going until Sienna has no way to deny what she did. Sienna is finally. She does not ask Victor for mercy. She looks right at Victor. She is not afraid. She tells him that she helped Matt and that she pretended to be against him. Sienna says she would do all of this again because she has to protect Matt from people like Victor Newman. In a world where men like Victor Newman are in charge, Sienna thinks that pretending to be a bad person is the only way to keep Matt safe. Sienna loves Matt. She will do anything to protect him. She will pretend to be the villain if that is what it takes to keep Matt from getting hurt by Victor Newman. The truth about Sienna makes Victor take a look at himself. He sees a lot of himself in the way Sienna thinks and acts. She is willing to do whatever it takes to help someone she cares about, even if it means putting herself in danger. This reminds Victor of the things he did in the past. He thinks about the reasons he gave himself for doing those things. Victor realizes that he used to believe that love and power are basically the thing. He sees that Sienna believes this too, and it makes him uncomfortable. The way Sienna is willing to sacrifice her reputation and safety for someone she believes in is a lot like what Victor did in the past. The news spreads like crazy through Genoa City as Victor's discovery shakes everything up. His enemies figure out that Matt did not survive. By chance, his friends wonder if Victor is really in charge, and people start talking about how Sienna was able to trick Victor Newman for long, which makes everyone think that nobody is completely safe, not even Victor Newman. Matt has to deal with a tough truth that hurts him a lot. He has to think about everything he thought he knew about people betraying him and being loyal. He is very angry at first, then he becomes very sad and thankful. He realizes the woman he thought had hurt him is actually the reason he's still alive. When Matt and this woman get back together, it is not easy. They both yell at each other. They tell each things they have been hiding. They also have to accept that when you love someone but lie to them, it can hurt them badly. Being honest cannot always make the hurt go away. Matt and the woman have to learn to live with the pain that their love has caused them. Victor is standing in the shadows, watching what happens next. He has to make a decision about Sienna. She did something that was not honest. Victor is not happy about it. He has to choose if he wants to be mean to Sienna for what she did, or if he wants to say that her plan was really smart. This is a choice for Victor because he always thought that he was the one who controlled everything that happened. Victor thinks that he is the one who makes all the plans and decides what will happen. Now he is not so sure. Sienna's plan was very good. Victor is surprised by it. He has to think about what he wants to do with Sienna and her clever strategy. As the story closes, the line between enemy and ally is permanently blurred, with Sienna emerging not as a villain or a hero, but as something far more dangerous in Genoa City, a woman who outplayed Victor Newman at his own game, saved a man the world wanted dead, and proved that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't loyalty or force, but the courage to become the enemy in order to protect the truth. Matt had finally been captured, not by Victor Newman as everyone expected, but by Jack Abbott, who stood alone in the dimly lit study at the Abbott mansion staring at Matt with a cold, calculating expression that revealed just how far Jack was willing to go to protect his family and reclaim his power, because Matt, bruised and furious, sat tied to a chair, smirking despite his situation, reminding Jack that Victor Newman would never forgive him for interfering, but Jack was no longer afraid of Victor, not after everything he had lost and rebuilt, and with a slow sip of whiskey, Jack leaned forward and told Matt that this was not about revenge but leverage, because Matt was the missing chess piece in a much larger game, a game that involved Victor's empire, Adam's fractured loyalties, Nikki's fragile health, and the endless war between the Newmans and the Abbotts. And as Jack made a call to Victor, his voice was calm, almost smug, when he said, "I have something that belongs to you," causing Victor, on the other end, to freeze as years of ruthless instinct kicked in, knowing instantly that Jack would never make such a call unless he had the upper hand. And when Victor arrived at the Abbott mansion later that night, escorted only by his own pride, he found Jack waiting, Matt restrained behind him, and the look on Victor's face shifted from fury to reluctant admiration as Jack laid out his offer. Matt in exchange for a ceasefire, not just a temporary truce, but a binding agreement that Victor would back off Yabo, stop targeting Kyle, and pull Newman Enterprises out of the shadow war that had been bleeding both families dry. And Victor scoffed at first, calling Jack a fool for thinking he could dictate terms, but Jack calmly reminded him of the evidence Matt carried, evidence that could implicate Victor in crimes that would destroy Newman Enterprises forever. And in that moment, Victor realized that Jack was no longer reacting to him, he was anticipating him. And the power shift was unmistakable, because Jack wasn't asking, he was offering Victor a way out with dignity intact, and though Victor would never admit it aloud, the truth burned inside him that Jack Abbott had finally beaten him at his own game, forcing Victor to agree, at least on the surface, while silently vowing that this humiliation would not go unanswered. But even as Victor shook Jack's hand, sealing the deal, another storm was brewing elsewhere in Genoa City, because across town, Phyllis Summers was plotting her next move with the same reckless intensity that had defined her for years, pacing in her hotel suite with her phone pressed to her ear as she laid out a new scheme designed to shatter alliances and shift blame, convinced that chaos was her greatest weapon, unaware that Billy Abbott had stepped into the hallway moments earlier, having come to confront her about something entirely different, only to stop cold when he heard his name spoken through the cracked door. And Billy, already on edge from the constant war and his own lingering guilt, leaned closer as Phyllis spoke in a hushed but excited tone about manipulating evidence, framing an innocent party, and using Jack's deal with Victor as a distraction while she pulled the strings behind the scenes. And with every word, Billy's expression darkened as realization dawned that Phyllis wasn't just stirring trouble. She was engineering a catastrophe that could destroy Jack's fragile victory and reignite the war tenfold. And when Billy finally pushed the door open, Phyllis spun around, her confidence faltering for just a second as she saw the fury in Billy's eyes, because he had heard enough, heard too much, and he demanded to know how far she was willing to go. But Phyllis, ever defiant, insisted she was protecting herself, protecting Jack, protecting everyone from Victor's inevitable retaliation, even if it meant crossing lines that could never be uncrossed. And Billy, torn between loyalty and morality, realized that Phyllis had become